Hey guys, it's Lumen. This video is a screen recording of my clear of Colo 2 using Meimei and Fasca. Up here I have a picture of my team using a team image building maker. Image team I don't even know. Yeah, so pause the video if you want to look at it. The assist inherits the latents and whatnot. Otherwise I'm just gonna get right into the video. I hope you enjoy. Alright, hey guys, so this is Shitpost Series 1, Fasca paired with anything, versus Colo 2, or as it's officially known, Ultimate Annihilation Colosseum. So, I chose to pair with Meimei because I was like, you know what, why not? I just want to pair with whatever I want, and I choose Meimei this time. Meimei is an HP conditional leader that requires a tricolor match to shield and deal damage, so kind of an awkward lead. But you know what? The whole point of the series is I can pair anything I want with Fasca and it'll work. So I think you might be able to tell, but this run is pre-recorded. So I'm a Twitch streamer, right? So normally I stream on Twitch and try to do all my runs live, whatnot. But this run, like, I died so many times with Meimei. Like, this isn't like a perfect by any means. Like, I definitely died quite a bit, and so it was definitely really frustrating to deal with. Yeah, so what I'm doing now is what I did was I would record my runs, right, every time offline so that I wouldn't mold as much, and because I cleared, I'm like casting my run, right? Like, I'm just showing you guys, telling you guys what I'm thinking as I'm playing the dungeon. And since I was the one who ran it, even though it's not like a live reaction or anything, you know, I knew what I thought like 20 minutes ago, so yeah. So here I screw up and mess up my Fua formation. And so I'm like, oh shoot, right? There's nothing I can do. So I have to pop a G Valeria to get rid of the mortal poisons that would kill me off. And thus, I just 1C and kill because he's at 1 health. So here we have Fenrir, right? And Fenrir is like, he grabs you for 2 turns. That's really annoying. But because you have no hearts, it's like you can't heal and it's just frustrating all around, right? So for me, and the hearts are necessary because of the poison orbs on the board. So for me, it's like I'm just gonna pop Fasca and get rid of the unmatchable and just kill Fenrir as quickly as I can because I just don't want to deal with them. Plus, Fasca is a really fast charging active at 5 turns cooldown, so you know it's really good. Okay, so we're on the piece. I mean, this simple floor, you just kill them off. They're not very strong at all, and it's basically like a free floor for all intents and purposes. So Fasca's recovery makes the poison skyfall not very dangerous at all because like one heal combo will let us recover an insane amount of health. So it's definitely amazing. Okay, so here I pop the Halmaro active. Now this floor has 2 possible spawns. You can either get Horus, right, or you can get Cronus. Now what Cronus does is he puts up like a 6 combo shield or 7 combo shield. I can't remember. I think it's a 6 combo shield, so you have to make 7 to bypass it. And then he debuffs your time severely. Like I can't remember exactly, but I think he debuffs your time to like 3 seconds or whatnot. So what I do is I use the Halmaro active to actually create a board, and then the +2 combos from the active allow me to hit 7C and thus bypass the test without actually having to use something like Fasca to overwrite the time, if that makes any sense. Okay, so here it was a little frustrating because I wasn't able to kill Horus, but for the most part I'm like, alright, it's whatever. I'm just going to match another board and probably kill them all. And so here we have the dragon floor, right? So you can either get this machine dragon or you can get the red dragon. I don't know his name and I don't really care. Basically, one throws blinds and one throws a skill delay, I think. Okay, so it's easy peasy, and it helps that I have machine killers already set up because of Dyspharion at the end, so pretty easy floor all around. Now here we have floor 7, so you can either get Arian Rod or Dyspharion. No, not Dyspharion. What am I saying? You can get Arian Rod or Sarasvati. Now, Arian Rod throws down these spinners that are really, really, really annoying, and so for me, it's like, oh, so annoying. So I use locked orbs to actually deal with the spinners indirectly, and then I just kill off Arian Rod. I get lucky here with the Skyfall. I only make 7 combos and probably wouldn't have killed that way, but I Skyfall 3 more, so it was an easy kill with a little luck. Now here we have a Akechi on floor 8. He's definitely the worst spawn for one reason. So Akechi is not very dangerous, except for the fact that he throws down this 99% gravity once he dies, right? And so it's really annoying because the 99% gravity reduces us or to below 50% HP, even with the shields active. And so, I mean, see, look, I'm below 50% HP. So now on the next floor, the King Tam floor, I lose 5 times multiplier. And it basically, it sucks because it's really critical to kill the King Tan on the first turn, because they deal 198,000 damage. So yeah, pretty important. Now we got lucky. I mean, the King Tan was in 2 and Fasca dealt a lot of damage, so it wasn't that big of a deal. But there have been times where I just die because I can't deal the damage I need to the King Tan. It just kills me off. So here I'm not making a Fua, as you can see, and the reason is Wild Drake or Dino Rider here is pretty thick, and so even if I make a Fua, there's no point because I'm not going to be able to actually kill him. So here I'm like, alright, now we're above half health and I should be able to kill him, so now I have to think about making the Fua. So I wait for the right side spinners, I think, to move along, and then yeah, I'm thinking about it. I take a long time to think about my solves because I'm not the best natural solver there is, so I'm gonna abuse the right side spinners. If it was me, at least. I can't remember what I did before. To make a resolve on the right column, and then I match combos in the middle to kill him off. So I didn't intentionally blob the dark, but you know what? All's well that ends well. So here we have Hatsume. She makes these annoying spinners in the middle, but honestly you can abuse them to make combos, right? Pre-make combos. For me, I'm just like, I don't want to do that. It takes too much time, so I just make natural combos in the middle. So as you can see, my Skyfall the 8th combo, and Hatsume is pretty weak otherwise, so I just kill her off easy. Now here we have Krishna. Krishna, basically, he's the Fujin. He's literally the only Fujin spawn beside this Variant. So basically, you can pop Fujin here, and because the later floors are kind of stall heavy and pretty campy, to be honest, Fujin will come back on time, especially because she won't be delayed. So here I'm abusing the spinners to get myself the shield. It doesn't really matter because I go below half health anyway, but it's a nice gesture, you know? So I'm like, you know what, I'm not going to be able to deal damage and I don't want to waste my Fujin and not be able to kill. So here I'm like, alright, I'm going to heal and then I'm going to kill. Okay, so should be easy peasy. I just pop Fujin and I go for the kill. I tried to go for the extra blue combo because I knew I blobbed it, but it's whatever, you know? So here we have the jewel floor. I think the worst one is Leyland, but Leyland can also be a blessing in disguise because she makes spinners that can block out Kakimar spinners on floor 14. So I think it's a trade-off. But yeah, Leyland also throws down a 4-second move time debuff, so that's also pretty frustrating. Okay, so luckily we don't get Kakimar, we get Neptune. So, you know, I see it as an easy opportunity, but unfortunately I flub the VDP here, so I think I have to stall quite a bit. Thinking about my solve again. I mean, I'm gonna flub it, I already know. Power of hindsight, you know? So it doesn't really matter. Oh, I think about my Fua first, actually. It makes sense. So as you can see, I don't get the Skyfall needed, so I kind of flub it and I don't deal any damage. And now I'm below half health, so I'm not going to deal any damage otherwise, so I just decide, you know what? It's not going to matter. I get pretty aggressive here though. I think, well, if I make a VDP, I could probably kill anyway because of the Devil Killer latent. I mean, basically I'm just hoping for luck at this point, and luckily I do get it, so got a bit lucky there. But we finish off Neptune and we move on to Zahak. Now, Zahak is annoying because he throws down Tape, he throws down Poison Skyfall. It's just a terrible spawn to deal with, so I'm like, you know what, I'm full health, I don't need to heal, I'll pop Meimei and go for the kill. But here I look at the board, I'm like, dude, there's barely any light as it is, and it's all scattered everywhere, so I'm just going to use the wood blob in the bottom left to make the VDP instead. Now, I did expect this to kill, actually. So I full matched the board, full combo, 11C VDP. With then, wood Skyfall. So I was like, oh, this should kill, right? But it didn't. So I'm a little scared, but luckily, there's a hack second move, so his preempt, right? His preemptive move is preset, and then this next move is also preset, so he only hits you for a little bit. So I breathe a sigh of relief, and I'm like, you know what, I'll take the advantage of the light orbs on the board to VDP him and actually finish him off. This is very fortunate. I feel very lucky about this. Because otherwise, below 50%, he throws down this Poison Skyfall for 99 turns that just basically is a death sentence. I mean, it's really hard to deal with, especially on Rag Drag. So And here we have Kurogane Maru. Just another VDP spawn, but it's machine, so I'm like, you know what, I'm pretty sure I can one-shot him. Unfortunately, so here I have the tape, but it's only for one turn, so I'm like, you know what, I'll just combo through the tape and stall out. Unfortunately, I flubbed the VDP, so it takes me a little longer than it should have to actually kill him off. So here I, full combo to get rid of the tape and shield. And here I'm like, oh, it's a golden opportunity. I'll just take these poison orbs they so generously gave me and use Lilia to make a wood VDP. Honestly, Lilia is probably the key cog of this team. She's the only one who gets above level 99 and really strong. Triple 7C with VDP and L. It's just, she provides a wonderful amount of utility and damage. Yeah, so here I flub the board again, as you can tell. And I deal no damage, because he has a combo shield of 7C. So with that in mind, I'm like, alright, he puts up the tape, I'm just gonna chip him down and maybe wait for Lily again or whenever an opportune moment comes up. So I think you guys can tell now, but this is pretty stall heavy, right? The game is pretty stall heavy, and honestly it's kind of necessary because actors are just so powerful, right? Like they literally manipulate the game into your favor. So yeah, there's really nothing more to say. Because actors are so powerful, you want to use them as much as you can, and to do that you stall to get those actors up. I make a lot of combos, but the Void Shield protects Kurogane Maru from taking the full blast of the damage. So he makes the tape, and then the blind and jammers are resisted. So here I'm just going full combo. Nothing much Kurogane can really do, nothing much I can do, so I do this awkward Skyfall kind of thing, and then I screw it up anyway, so it literally doesn't matter. So he makes the royal poison up top. Now if I had Lilia up, I would have used that to VDP and just kill him off, but I don't, so I'm like, I'll just full combo and go for it, and we'll see, maybe it'll kill him off, possible, right? The row of poisons is not really a big deal because Fasca's recovery is, pretty ridiculous, right? Like I don't even take any damage. So Kurogane below 30%, he'll recover health and then he'll Welcome Bind you for 5 turns. So knowing this, I realize I have a timer. I can't deal with that Awoken Bound again because Fasca won't be up in time. So I see Lilia's back up, and so I'm like, I have to VDP, I have to kill. What's great about Lilia for this team is that she doesn't break activation, so it's incredible, right? Like you make a lot of wood orbs for the team and you don't break the activation, so that's why I think Lilia's great fit. And so luckily we do finish Kurogane off, and we're now onto the Ragnarok Dragon floor. So on this floor you can either get Ragnarok Dragon, which is what we have right here, regular Rag, or we can get red Ragnarok Dragon. So the importance of that is Ragnarok Dragon, the normal Ragnarok Dragon, has more health and deals less damage. So kind of easier to stall, right? But takes longer to eventually kill. Red Ragnarok Dragon has less health, deals more damage, but most importantly, Red Ragnarok Dragon deals, or not deals, he gives you a recovery debuff of, I don't remember what it is honestly, but he gives you a recovery debuff, and this is important because with the recovery debuff, it's important heading into the next floor. Sorry, I'm just losing my train of thought a little bit here. The recovery debuff is important heading into the next floor, which is guaranteed to be Odysseus, because if you go into Odysseus with a recovery debuff, you just die, or you have to tank 202,000 damage, which most teams can't, so they just pretty much insta-die. So from that alone makes a recovery debuff overwrite kind of mandatory for most teams. I mean, if you want to have consistent runs, maybe you feel like, oh, I can RNG, just hopefully I RNG and get regular rag, but that's not going to make your runs very consistent at all. So so the problem with rag is that every time he hits us, he chips us down right below 50%, so basically I deal no damage, or I deal very little damage. Now, if he uses a skill delay move, while I do lose my skills, some of them, it gives me the opportunity to deal the damage I need to. Because he doesn't reduce our health, he doesn't hit us at all, so. If I made 10 combos, Fasca probably would have done a lot more damage, but I keep flubbing the board and missing the last combo. So here I completely flubbed the board. I missed, what, 4 combos? A little frustrating, but it's whatever, right? So we chip and chip because I can't deal any damage, and so I'm forced to chip him down. So at 50% he enrages, but it's a very small enrage, and it honestly doesn't really change my interaction with the Ragdrag, except for the fact that before the enrage I could just tank a hit without the shield at full health. Now I can't. But I mean, I wasn't gonna let him hit me without a shield anyway, so it literally doesn't matter. Okay, so we finally managed to kill Ragdrag after he uses his Ignition Burst skill delay, and now we're on to Odysseus. So on floor 18, it's guaranteed to be Odysseus. There's no other possible spawn. And so here he hits you with the recovery debuff. So the way it works is Odysseus hits me with a recovery debuff, right? If a enemy's identical recovery debuff, right, is active, right? So if there was a recovery debuff active, instead of using, overriding the enemy debuff, what happens is Odysseus can't, because, okay, I'm kind of mumbling right here, but basically in a dungeon, enemies cannot overwrite enemy debuffs, right? Identical enemy debuffs. So in other words, enemies cannot overwrite, like let's say I get debuffed by 2 seconds, right? So I get a time extend debuff, right? So my move time is reduced by 2 seconds for 4 turns, right? On the next floor, if I was gonna have my move time reduced by like 20 seconds for 1 turn, that enemy can't do that. So what happens is, because the previous floor someone else already debuffed me, so what happens is someone will basically it won't use this debuff and instead hits me for some amount of damage. With Odie, this is dangerous because if he can't get off his recovery debuff, he just hits you for 200,000 damage, and so basically you essentially die. Other than that though, Odie is a pretty safe spawn, while he has a 7 combo shield and a VVP, which is certainly annoying. The thing that makes Odysseus safe is that one, he has no execute, so you can chip him down to oblivion and basically, you know, never get executed. What's annoying is that he hits you, he has one move basically, so his full move set is he does his preemptive recovery debuff, blah blah blah, and then he'll hit you for 81,000 every turn and make these spinner formations, right? Which is really annoying. The only other move he has is at below 50%, right? So when you get him under 50%, he will create an unmatchable kind of thing for one orb type, right? Where fire or water would light dark. So this is bad because if he makes fire or water unmatchable, then I can at least get 25% of my shield, even if the 8 combo shield is not really feasible. However, if he makes the 60% chance of, you know, making my what is it? If he does the 60% chance of wood, light, and dark, that means I can't even get my tricolor match. So basically, I'm pretty much dead in the water. So yeah. Fortunately, Fasca, I managed to stall for Fasca, right? So I generated as many healers as I can, healed to full so that I could tank Odysseus's hits, and luckily I survived until Fasca and used her active to remove the unmatchable orb status. This is very fortunate. And so as you can see, I'm chipping him down, right? Like we're very close, you know, probably around 10% HP threshold mark. But he's not going to kill us because all he does is that offering to God move where he makes spinners and it's just really annoying, but otherwise not very dangerous. And so yeah, look how I'm checking my Fasca. It's because if I get, what is it? This floor, you can either get Andromeda, Pandora, or Achilles, right? If I got Andromeda, I will want the unmatchable orb status removal up. If I get Pandora, I want my Awoken Bind recovery up. But because I got Achilles, I'm like, oh, okay, I guess this is the one spawn that I can not need Fasca. So here I'm looking up on PDX. So Puzzle Dragon X is a database containing dungeon information and monster information. It's a very, very valuable resource. I consider it to be invaluable when I play this game, and I would strongly recommend you use it. In addition to the website itself, we have a Discord community on Discord for Puzzle Dragon X, where, you know, pad players interact and talk with each other and do trades and whatnot. I mean, I encourage you to join. Definitely great. So I'm looking it up on PDX because look, I play a lot of Colo 2, but Achilles is a rare invade, right? So while he will drop 100% guaranteed if I see him, the problem is since he's such a rare invade, I normally never see him. So this is very fortunate in and of itself. So here I'm thinking, well, what do I do? And I'm like, you know what? A good option is just, you know what, hit him a little bit, chip him down. And so he enrages here, and I actually didn't see that 1.2x. So I checked the status update to see if I can see it, but obviously it's not visible. So I go back to, you know, PDX and I go look it up, and I figure, oh, it's only 1.2x enrage, so it's not very dangerous. What's annoying is the recovery debuff, but because it's only 50%, I think to myself, well, Fasca, while she'll have more difficulty healing, she should be able to out heal through that at least. So yeah. Why is Achilles valuable, right? So obviously if it's a rare invade, it drops, right? And so what's good about Achilles? The thing that makes Achilles good is really he makes his equip, right, called Achilles Shield, it's basically a farmable tape resist, so that's nice in and of itself, but certainly not like irreplaceable, right? Like for example, we have Gung Ho Collabs, I don't know how to pronounce it, but there's a tape resist card in there. It's like Onmyoji Seimei card. Definitely valuable. And it's a farmable tape resist from there as well, and it doesn't cost a bunch of 200 stamp. Like, you don't have to farm a 200 stamp dungeon to get it, right? You just hope for the PEM, or in this case, in JP, they just had a rerun of Gung Ho Collab in which the Onmyoji Seimei card, tape resist, was basically farmable for tickets. And then there's also Pad Academy's report card, which is also a farmable tape resist that also doubled Light Row Maker on a very short cooldown. So what makes Achilles valuable is he's one of the only triple wood OE cards in the game. So wood OE. So OE is an abbreviation for Orb Enhance. Basically, Orb Enhance, makes the orb nice and shiny with a plus and boosts damage slightly. But the thing is, it says slightly, but in reality, the Orb Enhance actually does a lot more than one would think. I know that I ran an Orb Enhance card, so I use Athena, which enhances wood and light orbs, and whenever I used that, it actually provided a considerable amount of damage. So I think Orb Enhance is definitely underrated. Compared to something like 7C, which provides a flat 2x multiplier. I mean, it's great, don't get me wrong, it's pretty much still the king of damage awakenings, but Orb Enhance definitely is something that I think is underrated, and thus when people begin to recognize its value, if people ever do, Achilles will definitely be at the forefront of that, because you know what, he's one of the only equips besides a top priority role in Sword Art Online collab, which is Lifa, right? Besides Lifa, I mean, Achilles is the only triple wood OE, and he provides tape resist as well, which is a nice form of defensive utility. So yeah, that's why Achilles is valuable. So here I'm checking his enrage, not his enrage, I'm checking his movesets to see what he's going to do, whether I should try and go in one shot, or if I can just, chip him down even more. I know he has an execute, but other than that, I'm not so sure. So after much, deliberation, I decide, you know what? Hey, I'm just gonna chip him down a little bit, see how it goes, and I chip him down a lot more than I thought I would. So here I'm like, if I do any more damage, I'm going to basically get executed, and he also enraged, and it's just not safe, right? But the problem is I get time debuffed, and I have no way of removing it whatsoever. I only have 6.25 seconds, and I need to kill him off. So in my mind, I pop Lilia, and I'm thinking, look, I got a VDP, and I gotta make like 8 combos. So I take a while to think about the board, but I mean, if I didn't pull it off, I'd be dead. So yeah, I pull it off. So yeah, I managed to get off the 8 combo DVP, and luckily it deals enough damage to finish off Achilles. So Achilles drops, and so now I'm feeling quite a bit of pressure, because I'm a Demonius. I don't want to die. I want to make sure I finish him off, kill off this Varion, and hopefully I can not only clear the dungeon with Meimei and Fasca, but also get an Achilles drop as well. So here, there's nothing much I can do except chip him down, so that's what I do. Oh, and then I pop Fasca to remove the time debuff Achilles gave me before. So here again, there's nothing much I can do, so I chip him down. And so here we go below 50%, so now I don't have to worry about his resolve, but unfortunately, Demonius throws down his 20% Jammer Skyfall. Which sucks because it increases the chance of Orb Troll by quite a bit, but at the same time, it becomes a blessing in disguise later, as you'll see. So I purposely don't match the heals. I mean, it looks like I ran out of time, but I also didn't want to match the heals because you never know if you need the hearts to resolve, right? So I managed to kill out Demonius, and now we're on the big boss, the final boss, the annoying ass Dyspherion. And so here, I'm thinking to myself, can I stall, right? And the simple answer is no, right? But here, so I take some time to think about it, right? Here's my thought process. If I don't hit him at all, he'll be at 100% health and will execute me. So I have to hit him, right? If I do hit him, right, and I manage to full shield and whatnot, I'm checking my actives here, then he's gonna Awoken Bind me. Unfortunately, Fasca's 2 turns away, so that means on the turn I'm Awoken Bound, I can't do anything. So what happens is, Meimei is up the next turn, so I can haste and use Fasca. The problem is, if I use Meimei and then use Fasca, I have no heal orbs on the board, so basically I'm just going to deal a bunch of damage without healing, and thus I get hit again into the next floor. At that point, I'm going to deal no damage, right? So I don't have the opportunity. So the problem with the Meimei is that if I pump Meimei into Fasca with no heal orbs, I can't use the Resolve, and thus I can't pop the Spike and the Fujin that I so desperately want to. If I stall out that floor and get onto the next one, I'm below the HP threshold, which means I lose 5x of my multiplier, because Dyspherion is 2 billion effective HP. I can't afford to sacrifice 5x of my multiplier, and so if I take that turn to heal up, I'll get Awoken Bound again, and thus I'm screwed. So with that in mind, I finally figure out I need to one-shot him this floor, and so I pop my Spike, I pop my Fujin, and luckily I forgot that Fujin hastes 1 turn, which means that Lilia, who's 1 turn away, is actually active. So I'm like, oh shoot, this is a golden opportunity, and thus I'm just going to take it and try and one-shot Dyspherion. Now the Spike is a carrot style Spike where it's dependent on skill boost, and it provides a massive attack bonus because of, I brought so many skill boosts along, right? 2 G Valerias. Like, it's just absolutely ridiculous, right? So here I'm comboing out, trying to vertically match the wood combos. I managed to set up the heal Skyfall, but I blob those wood orbs, which has me worried. But you know what? We managed to deal enough damage, and thus we kill out this Dyspherion. And with that, we beat Hollow 2 with Meimei and Fasca.